Got some beautiful words talking about coming alive again in a vastly bigger way. So, Rev Joy-anne.
My, it is a beautiful day. Did you notice that? Mm-hmm. I love it. I wanted to introduce you to the little bird that took a little trip earlier. And I'd like to bring him in, him or her, you can tell. It's on Easter, and I'll show you why in just a second. How many of you have a favorite sounding bird? Any of you have a favorite sounding bird? This particular one, I went to a store, and they had all these different birds, and when you press them, they sing, right? And this one is, no, it's not a sparrow. It's a meadowlark. Just, I want you to close your eyes and see, and listen, close your eyes and listen to the sound. Now, can you picture yourself in a meadow? Yeah. Isn't that amazing? And they actually record the sounds and they put them inside the bird, so then when you hug the bird, and I used to love to put this on the floor, and my two cats they're looking all around, kind of scared them a little bit, but I love to share that on Easter morning because it is such a sound of coming alive again, the new time, a new day. And to begin that, we're going to start with a little bit of humor. I asked Rael, he was telling me a blonde joke about an Easter bunny and a blonde, and I thought it would be really nice to open up, to have humor. It's very important that it opens our heart when we laugh, when we have a sense of humor. It opens our heart and allows our fun to come out. And so Rael has his own microphone, so he's going to tell you the blonde joke. Imagine when you're a blonde minister. Go ahead, Rael.
We almost didn't have Easter this year because just yesterday afternoon on Trunk Hill, a guy driving his truck ran over the Easter bunny.
Let's say, oh.
So the poor guy tried to avoid it initially. He's now crouched over this Easter bunny and he's crying. And a car pulls up and there's this blonde. And she comes and she looks at everything and she says, I can help. She goes into her car and brings out a spray bottle and sprays the bunny, and it comes back to life and looks at everybody with a big smile, runs away 10 feet, stops and waves, runs another 10 feet, stops and waves, and continues doing that until it disappears around the corner. So this guy's impressed with this and says, my God, what did you use? And she says, I use this. And on the bottle it says, hairspray, brings hair back to life and forms waves.
So thank you, Raphael the angel. I'm going to come up with brunette jokes. So coming alive again. What a beautiful way to set the tone for our Easter celebration. And because that is what the Easter message is really all about. Mother Earth has been sleeping and through a long winter's nap. And now, this wonderful time of year, all of the blossoms. I looked across the street from where I live, and the trees are in blossom. Everything is literally coming back to life again. And that's one of the reasons we are here this morning, to celebrate this time of year. In addition to that, are all of you ready for our very first ever Easter egg hunt for adults? I want you to take a moment and look around the room. And you will see different gifts here and there, eggs filled with goodies and other things. Also, under most of the chairs, there are gifts. Do not look now. I do not want you all shuffling around and turning your chairs over. But under your chairs, there are gifts and envelopes. So right after the service, I want you to put on your rabbit ears and become children again and enjoy our very first adult Easter egg hunt with wonderful things for you. Lots of surprises. Uh-oh, somebody's already spilling. So this morning we celebrate coming alive again. And there's 3 parts to this idea of coming alive again. The first one, there is the darkness, or the depth of darkness. And I want you to think of for a moment now if there has ever been a time in your personal life where you have gone through a really big challenge. Something happened that literally changed your life forever. Changed the way you look at things, changed the way you acted. Next, there was the dawn of hope. After the darkness, there was the dawn of hope. And then there was the new day. So it's about coming alive again. And this idea is one that is really the story, the Easter story, and it is our story. It is our story. So today we will explore each of these 3 aspects. And we begin with the first one. And I want you to imagine going back in time and imagine the crucifixion and the great master teacher Jesus. It was said with these words. It says that the day that Jesus passed, that darkness fell upon the land. So this darkness fell upon the land. And from the 6th to the 9th hour. And on the 9th hour, he died. It is reported in Matthew chapter 27, you can look that up if you like, that the curtains to the door of the temple were torn, shredded and torn asunder. And there were earthquakes. I remember listening on the news recently, we've had at least three major earthquakes on our planet in the last couple of weeks. Did you all notice that? LA, Chile, and Mexico. Big earthquakes. So imagine what it was like to be there during this time when the curtains just came apart, were torn asunder from top to bottom, and then a great earthquake occurred, causing some of the tombs, it said, to open up and release the spirits of those who were in them, according to the scriptures. This moment of passing was described as very dark and very scary. Those around were frightened. For many, it seemed as if hope had all been lost in the darkness. They believed what they truly loved. This man was now gone. He had passed. In metaphysics, we look at everything as an allegory or as a metaphor, if you will, for many things in our lives. And can we not see that in our own darkness, in moments of despair, anyone ever have a time in their life when there was a great sadness, maybe a divorce, a sudden loss, someone lost their job, someone lost their health? What would happen? You feel this heaviness, this darkness in your life. Some of you may be going through that time of crucifixion right now. A dark night of the soul, if you will. And so having those experiences, according to Johann Wolfgang, isn't that an interesting name? Johann Wolfgang von Goethe wrote this, very important. He said this: to be a traveler on this earth plane, you must know how to die and how to come back to life. How to die and how to then bring yourself back to life. Walter Starkey, in his book, It's All God, is a great book. I know we have one in the bookstore. It's a fabulous book. I was very blessed and privileged to spend some time with the author, Walter Starkey, who studied and was a protege for Joel Goldsmith. Some of you may have heard. How many of you have heard of Joel Goldsmith? It's a great mystical teacher from many years ago. Anyway, Walter studied with him for about 20 years, and he has many books also. This is what he said in this book, It's All God. He said, the breaking up of old forms is Easter's prelude for a new level of life. A new level of life on earth. Death and resurrection don't come only once in a lifetime. Every time there is a divorce, every time a partner dies, or one loses a job, or every time there is any shift in consciousness, part of us dies. Part of us dies. And part of us is reborn. I had an experience last night. I want to say, first of all, though, that many years ago, about 18 years ago, it was about more than that, almost 19 years ago, on my very first Easter as a minister. The night before, I had been invited to attend a First Nation sweat lodge. And there was myself and my friend Maya, and then about 20 very seasoned First Nations men. And so there I went into the sweat lodge, having no idea what I was getting myself into. And I was the one that was asked to sprinkle the sage on each of the beautiful, blessed rocks they call the Father rocks. They brought each one in, and I leaned over and sprinkled them with sage. And little did I know that I was actually getting a sunburn, or I should say a rock burn from that. And I literally thought, because when you're in that much heat, it's hard to breathe. Anyone ever been in a sweat? A lot of you? You know what it feels like. I literally thought that I died. I literally thought I died. And then after it was over, I came back to life. I'm crawling out of the sweat, and literally I went to my very first Sunday service ever, completely this color. My whole face was this color. And all my skin peeled off. So I had an experience like a death for myself. And I never did another sweat lodge until last night. Yes, and I'm still alive. So I wanted to do that on purpose. I was invited by one of the most wonderful First Nations leaders. His name is Neil. Some of you may know Neil. Wonderful leader, spiritual leader. And I was invited to attend, and I went last night, and it was an amazing experience. I went to 3 of the rounds. There's 4 rounds altogether. And I went through the experience of not being able to breathe again and feeling like I was dying again. But then I came back to life again. So our whole experience on planet Earth are experiences like that. I don't know a single person, so if this is you, if you've had the most perfect life and you've never had any challenges, any divorces, any difficulties, any health challenges, I want you to raise your hand because we're going to all honor you today. Usually everyone, I don't even know one person on the planet. So the human experience is really all about us learning how to die and then to again come back to life, coming back to life again. And it's a journey. So I believe that we are wired to return again and again back to life, to realize our godness, our divinity, to go through the journey of remembering once again. Jesus, the way shower, showed us the way when he was on the cross. And he said these words as he just was about to die. He said these, "Into thy hands I command my spirit." Into thy hands I command my spirit. Into thy hands I command my spirit. And that is the song of surrender. It is us letting go of all of the pain, the suffering, the anguish, the darkness that we might have felt, the heaviness, the separation, the anxiety, and really bringing our awareness back to the truth of our being. So after the darkness, after that, we have the dawn of hope. Just this little glimmer of hope in our lives where we once again have the remembering, however small the crack in the door is, we remember who we are. The Gospel of Matthew says it this way: "In the evening of the Sabbath, when the first day of the week began to dawn, there came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the tomb." The scripture tells that, at least in Mark and Luke, that they came with spices to anoint the body of Jesus. Now, I certainly don't know what was going through their minds at this time, but I imagine that there might have been that glimmer of hope for them. They knew Jesus had died, but in them there could have been that glimmer of hope that a miracle would occur. And what did they find? Who remembers what they found when they got there? They showed up looking for the body of the Christ, of Jesus. Yes, back there. Nothing. They found nothing. They found the cloth. Yes, they found just the cloth, but he was missing. They didn't see him. They didn't find him. And imagine what they went through when they found that happen. So the dawn of hope gives us just that little glimmer of hope that maybe somehow he lived, right? They couldn't find his body, so maybe he was alive. And so then the third part of our Easter story, we have the darkness that fell upon the land. We have the tiny glimmer of hope. And then we have the day, the brightness like today. I love it. You wake up and the sun is shining. It's beautiful. So once again, going back to the scriptures, the angel of the Lord came down from heaven, it says, and went up and rolled away the stone from the door it sat on. His appearance was like lightning. It was dazzling white as snow. And for fear of him, the guards who were watching trembled and became as if they were dead. It sounds like they fainted. Like, oh my God. But the angel answered, saying to them, "You need not be afraid, for I know that you are seeking Jesus, who was crucified. He is not here, for he has risen, just as he said." So Easter for us is the new day. We have the darkness of a difficult experience, part of our human experience. We have the glimmer of hope, and we have the brightness of the new day. Even when everything appears dead in our lives, or difficult in our lives, if we have faith, if we have trust, if we invite that glimmer of light into our awareness, we have that experience of light. And it is the promise of Easter. Remember what Walter Starkey said? He said, it is the breaking up of old forms in Easter. And our planet right now is going through immense change on every level. I'm really shocked at all of the shootings and all of the things that are happening everywhere. It's really an opportunity for all of us to see that things are shifting, but they're changing into a new place. Even though we see tragedy, if we can see and look beyond the appearance to the new form, to the life that is in there. So the glory of Easter is upon us as we go forth into the light of a new day. So just take a moment right now to think about an experience you may have had that was very difficult. Maybe you got some bad news, maybe someone you greatly loved passed away, maybe you went through a divorce, maybe you lost your job. What could it be? Some difficulty. And as you went through that experience, as you went through the feeling like I did almost 19 years ago, feeling like I died and I came back to life, as you think about that, you re-experience your re-emergence into, instead of a breakdown, what really happens for us is we have a breakthrough. Without exception, every single challenge that we've been through, every contrast, every darkness brings to us a deeper awareness of the presence of the divine, the presence of spirit, every time. So as you look back on your life, through all of the changes of your life, you will notice that there is a breakthrough following the breakdown. That when there is a crucifixion or a difficulty or a physical challenge or a contrast, that literally that shifts us into a whole new, bright, new day. And so that is the message of Easter. That is our message. That is our life, that we must learn here on planet Earth not only how to die, but how to rise again, how to come back to life again. And nature gives us such beautiful examples all the time. Every day, if we look out, as we go out into nature, going for walks, how many of you are going for walks more? Getting out in nature more, going to the river more, living your life more. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and you're really good at saying yes, I know. So as I ask you these questions, really take a moment to see if you're willing to do these things. Number one is, are you willing on this Easter morning to let yourself be resurrected into an entirely new, bright future?
Yes.
Are you ready to, oh, this one I love, are you ready to be the second coming of the Christ? By accepting the darkness as part of the Easter cycle, by trusting God even in the darkness. Do you trust God even in the darkness?
Yes.
Today, will you commit the fullness and wholeness of who you are to Spirit, committing your life to the greater yet to be?
Yes.
Today, will you commit to finding the dawn of hope?
Yes.
No! Yes.
Indubitably so.
I thought they were. Today, will you stand tall in the sun?
Yes.
Claiming your spiritual birthright?
Yes.
Through a consciousness resurrected in the light of a new day?
Yes.
All right. Perfect. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to anchor this whole idea in consciousness. We have beautiful candles. I'm going to call forward our practitioners that are here, our board members that are here. Would you please come forward? And we're going to create a sacred chamber of prayer as we anchor in these ideas of this brand new day, this resurrection consciousness. Thank you. Oh, you're going to do both. Okay. He doesn't know how to do two things at once. Oh, okay. Yes. And Krista, let's see. Would you come up? Krista? All right. And they're going to form a circle around you, a circle of love all around you. Okay, sorry. We need one more volunteer. Who would like to be the light? Okay, yes.
We got lots. Come on.
Thank you. Perfect. Beautiful. All right, we're going to lower the lights. Just going to lower the lights. And we're going to anchor this whole idea of rebirth, of renewal, of reminding ourselves to come alive again, no matter what happens, no matter how difficult the challenges are, that we come alive again, that we remember the truth of who we are. So in this beautiful chamber of love, with these individuals around you who are holding the light of the new day, this beautiful energy, we take a moment just to recognize that there is only one power, one presence, one life that I call God, but it is known by many names. It is the Christ consciousness that is everywhere present. That beautiful Christ presence that gave his life so that we could all know that there is eternal life, to rise again. He was our teacher, that great Christ presence. And so I am recognizing the presence of life, the presence of God, the presence of great spirit that is everywhere in the universe upon universe upon universe upon universe, forever expanding. The essence of God, of life, is right here, right now, right where we are. Right where you are. The life of God is living, moving, and having its being. Are you allowing the divine to have its way with you? I commit my life to the divine, the greater yet to be. And so I am knowing that I am one, as I am one with and as and of the divine. Everyone in this room is made in that image and likeness of pure spirit, one with and as and of God. And am I willing this Easter morning to let myself be resurrected into the greatest yet to be, the greatest possibility of my life. Am I committed to the fullness and the wholeness of who I am? I say yes to that. I say yes to the divine, to the abundance, to the love, to the joy, to the peace, to the beauty of nature, to coming alive again. And I ask that in my moments of darkness, when I forget, when I am experiencing a challenge, that I have that glimmer of hope of the new day, that I rebirth myself into the greater yet to be. And I see that any challenge is not a breakdown, but a breakthrough into a greater awareness, a greater love, a greater joy than ever before in my life. For I am choosing to be the change, to be the loving kindness, to be the light of this Easter morning to everyone that crosses my path, even the Easter Bunny. I say thank you, thank you, thank you, Infinite Spirit. Thank you, life. Thank you, God, for all of the blessings, for all of the goodness, for all of the beauty that is in my life as me. Thank you that I am so blessed that I can count my blessings every day. Thank you, thank you, thank you, life. And I simply release this treatment into the law of mind, knowing that I am that I am the light in this world. That I am committed to finding the dawn of hope, even in the darkness. That I trust God. And I trust life. And I trust myself. Today I stand tall in the Son of God as the son and daughter of God, claiming my spiritual birthright through a consciousness resurrected, coming alive again in the light of this beautiful day, the light of peace, the light of power, and the light of love. And so knowing that, I simply let go. I let God. And we say together, and so it is. All right, so you may, having lit your inner heart light, you may blow out your candle. And please keep it, that candle, as a gift from all of us to you. Thank you for holding the light for us.